So here we go. We're going to be doing D, E, and F now, folks. So D was making it spin, and I saw some people like hold D key down to make it spin. My intention was to make a tap D and it spins 360. So if you didn't do that, that's okay, but take a look and see how that's done. So you got your one key pressed. So I'm going to use the D key, and if you were to just use, for motion, just use turn 360 degrees, you'll be quite disappointed. I have that script set up here, and, magnifier is annoyingly getting in the way. I don't know, whatever. So this script really doesn't perform much. I go over here, I press D, look at my cat spin, 360. Isn't it amazing? I'm pressing D. Do you hear the D? Nothing's happening. Why? Thanks. Yeah, it does turn 360. It's just instantly turns 360, and you're left going, nothing. It's just nothing has ever happened. And you ever hear someone say, like, I'm going to turn my life around a whole 360 degrees or something like that, and they're like, that just puts you back in the same path. So that's not really the way to do it. Instead, I'd like to turn something like maybe 10 degrees. And if you press D 36 times, I won't do it because that's kind of dull to watch. You could get it to turn around in a circle. But free yourself from the monotony of pressing the D key. This is why computers were made, is to sort of multiply human efforts. Multiply pressing the D key once by, 36 times. Under control, and this is the secret for all these exercises, by the way. Control has your back. It's got all these cool things, like repeat, and then there's a number here, so I can tell it to do something, say, 36 times. So if I take repeat, and I move it over here, the shape of it means that you can stick things inside of this. And so I can tell it to do it, any number of times I want. So if I'm turning 10 degrees each time, I'll tell it to do it 36 times. Whoops, a typo there. So altogether that's 36 degrees, right? So if I press D now, we'll watch it spin around. And we watch it go 10 degrees each time. Just so you know, this might be a little more detailed than you want, but the repeat loop has a built-in delay in it so that it's good for animating things. That delay is very short, but you might notice it when you don't want it, so there's reasons to know about it for that. But also, it makes the animation a little bit smoother if it has that slight delay in it so you can kind of see it going around. If I wanted to spin faster, I could do more degrees and do it fewer times. So for example, if I turned 36 degrees and did it 10 times, then it would go a lot faster. So you can adjust how you want to do that. You can just, using multiplying, as long as it works out to 360, as long as these two multiply to that number, you'll get it to rotate all the way around. So your choice on how that works. Okay, so there you go. Repeat is a fantastic loop. Next one. This one, a lot of people have great answers to, and I totally like the answers people came up with. Some people were using glide to mouse pointer. Some people were using go to mouse pointer and a bunch of other things. I was asking you to use the move block, but those answers are all interesting ways to get the cat to follow the mouse. So don't feel like you did something wrong. But I do want to show you how to use the move block, because move is a bit weird in the sense that, we have already change X and change Y, so what's the difference between that and move? Move goes in the direction the sprite is facing, that many pixels. What direction is the sprite facing, you ask? Well, you can take a look and see. Right over here, the sprite selector shows you what direction it's facing. So right now, the cat is facing that way. And you know what? It's not just because the cat is drawn that way. Whatever sprite you draw, their default direction is facing to the right. So it's always a good idea to draw your sprites facing to the right. I'll remind you as we go, because people will forget, and it's okay. But if you draw it facing to the left, and then tell it to move, it'll go backwards. So, always draw them facing, even a rocket ship that's going to be going up most of the time, draw it facing to the right, and then rotate it afterwards. So what I'm going to do is, if I was to press move right now, or I'll just double click on it, watch, it goes that way. But if I was to rotate the sprite, say facing up, the move goes that way. And if I was to go on an angle, move will go in an angle as well. So move just goes in the direction it's facing. And this is really nice. In future grades, when you're not using Scratch and have to do all this yourself, you'll have to do like trigonometry or something. We won't probably do it, but We'll have some other way of doing it, but you'll have to break this into a vertical and a horizontal component, and there's all this extra stuff. So it's really nice that we just have a plain old move to make this happen. So that's part of it. So if I just say move, it's just going to be moving in whatever direction it's facing. Also, I'd like it to point towards the mouse pointer so that it's constantly moving and pointing every time. So I'll get out an E event when I press E. And just right below, here we go. I'd like it to, move and point. So under motion, you'll also see a bunch of point things. So we can point in particular directions. You can tell it to point in a particular direction, or you can get it to point towards something. You can point towards, for example, the mouse pointer, which is exactly what we're looking for. So if I just stick those things together, and if I press the E key, you'll sort of see it in slow motion. If I press E, here's the mouse, here's the cat. You can see that it's going towards, and as I move it around, it's like following it. If I wanted that to happen over and over again, I wouldn't use the repeat loop because, well, unless I only wanted it to happen like 50 times or something, but if I wanted to keep it going on and on and on, I'll add a new loop, forever loop. So under control, you also have forever. Whoops. Didn't quite nail that. Here we go. So check out the forever loop. Forever means exactly what you think it means. It means it'll just keep on doing it as long as the program is running. Hi, come on in. Yeah, I guess, if it's for a good reason. I'll trust that it is. But I'm going to keep on going. So if I put that forever loop around it, and I press E, check it out. Like it just keeps doing it over and over again. I get these nice smooth motions as it loops around. It actually looks like pretty nice, right? And I can change the speed of it. I can say, only move 5 steps or 2 steps at a time. And so, we'll get moving a lot slower. It's constantly moving. Now, you might notice that it's kind of dumb. It goes upside down. You're like, oh, that doesn't look great. So there are different ways to do rotation. So if I stop it, I'll just quickly introduce you under motion to rotation styles. Just about at the very bottom, you can set different rotation styles. By default, it's set to all around, but you can switch to left, right, and don't rotate. And I'll just quickly show you what those look like. So I'll stick that over here. So here's what left, right looks like. I'll stick that one in, so when I press E, it'll switch to left, right. You see what's going on here? It isn't going to change direction until I move the mouse to the other side. So it can face different directions, but only really face the left or face the right. But it can still go in diagonal movement. Its direction is still updating, but the actual spread itself doesn't rotate around, just flips left, right. Hence the name, left, right. If I switch that over to don't rotate, I have to press E again. Then don't rotate is sort of similar, but if I go the other way, I just have to stop it again. Notice that if I go up, my mouse goes on the other side, it just walks backwards. It doesn't flip around. So you have to decide when is that useful, which style. Of course, there's all around, the original one, and I have to stop it, I guess, start again. Then we get the rotation, so you can decide for your purposes what rotation style you want to use. So it could be any one. Doesn't really matter. Just choose the one that is the one you need. Okay, last but not least, problem F. We'll take a look at the answers for that one. And again, I hope you tried it out. If you didn't get it, it's okay. But in trying it, you probably found out a little bit more about Scratch. And if you aren't trying them, then you're getting behind. So, if you're getting them wrong, you're not getting behind. It's only if you're not trying them that you're getting behind. So let's get it on. I'll show you the answer. Here is when I press the F key will be my new trigger. And am I going to use a repeat loop for this or forever loop? Forever loop, yeah, for sure, because I want to keep it going. I don't have any plans. You could use a repeat loop and just type 10 billion in there, but that's basically just a forever loop. So you might as well just use a forever loop. So I'll grab that forever loop out of events. And then I want to move and I want to bounce off the edge. And it turns out there's actually a block for bouncing off the edge. So I'll grab move. You can move at whatever speed you want. And then check it out. There's a block towards the bottom that says, if on edge, bounce. So I can just stick that in here. And I can press F. And now it's not relative to the mouse pointer. Oh, I'll just zoom into that, make sure everyone saw it. So when I press F key, it'll forever move 10 steps, and if on edge, bounce. So here it goes, F. Here it goes. Just going to move around and just kind of bounce around the edges. And looks very confused. Like a cat trapped inside of some invisible cage or something. It's like, let me out of here, I'm stuck. So there you go. There's a interesting, simple but interesting script. Okay, so those are 3 more exercises. I got 3 more for you. I'll stop the video